people on Twitter. I think of them as friends.
Right.
And if, somebody called me, I call them back. Just the same way if somebody sent me a tweet, I tweet them back. That's just the way I am. Silly. I'm just silly.
Well, another update, speaking of Twitter, I have a tweet from Mason72, Maysan. Okay. Said, trying to call in.
He got the very first signed copy of my poetry book, a collection.
Aw, that's cool. Well, he said he was trying to call in, but it doesn't work. I guess let's see, it doesn't work. Guess it has to do with me being in Sweden. Oh, wow.
You're
in
Sweden?
Sweden.
Oh. Who's in Sweden?
Mason.
I don't believe it. I have doubts about
That's
this.
what he just said.
I'm not even sure Sweden's an actual place. I don't think it really exists. They say it's there. We've heard about it. But then they're neutral about very neutral about that. How can you really be neutral about stuff all the time? Everything? I don't believe in Sweden. I'm sorry. Prove to me there's a Sweden.
Since you brought up your book.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about Eclectic. And where did the name come from? What kind of poetry and whatnot is in there?
What not is in there? Okay, well, you won't find any prostitutes in there.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find any Volkswagens in there, but you will find poetry, and I write lots of it. I've been writing poetry for a very long time, I guess 20-something years, maybe.
Okay, so since you were born.
Right, yeah, since I was born. And I put my poems in. I kind of write like a bunch of different styles. I don't have like a set way of writing. I never took writing as far as a course in any kind of educational format. I never studied anything about poetry. I just kind of started writing my own poetry, and sometimes I'd write about something specific, like something that happened to me or a feeling that I had, or sometimes I just do a kind of, I call it like a free-form poetry, where I just literally put the pen on the paper and I just write things that come out and onto the page aren't even cohesive at all most times. And then I go back through and I chop them up into sections and I'll put them into either random thoughts or I'll make a poem out of it somehow, but like it's kind of its own creation. It just kind of creates itself. I'm just like the conduit. So a lot of the poems are diverse. It's kind of like it's like a collection of my poetry, but it's an ebook, right? So it's e-collection.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Actually,
that
the
makes
name
sense.
of the book. So the book is e-collection, and that's basically it. And I had chosen what I believe to be. I wanted to put in more poems, but the person who made the book for me informed me that I had a cap, and so I was only allowed to do 50 pages. So I did 48 poems and then 2 pages of what I like to call random thoughts, which a lot of times are these pieces from poems that I can't use because, either they don't fit the feel of the poem or, I don't know, they're like little tidbits left over, and so I just
little
write them down.
Extras for them.
Yeah.
Little extras.
Little extras. Little teeny extras. That's all.
Yeah.
And I took the best of all that I could find, and I shoved it into one book. But, unfortunately, I kind of realized after I'd actually written the book and it was printed and I got my hands on it, that the stuff that I've been writing now is a lot better than the stuff that I had written previously throughout my earlier years. And I kind of feel, man, I should probably make another one because I just feel like my poems that come out today are just superior for some reason.
Well, there's nothing wrong with writing a second book. I mean, you should put out as many as possible. I'm sure that people will buy them. As a matter of fact, Mason, who said their name is really May,
The May. Okay, I know who that is.
Seth
okay,
is
all right. Now I believe in Sweden again because I remember she tweeted some pictures of her on a pony, and that was my first concern was that I don't believe in ponies because who's got a pony really? And then she proved it. She said this is a pony and I own it, and I was like, okay, I gotta step up and admit when I'm wrong. There is a thing called a pony, and then some beautiful countryside where she lives, and that's I guess. She claims it should be Sweden. I'm gonna take her for her word.
Okay. Well, she says that Seth is my poetry inspiration. I write poems too.
Yes, she's a really amazing poet, and I think that she can make a book. Is I buy it. That's for sure. My other friend Luis Costa also writes poetry books, and I've got one of his. He's got another one that just came out, and I'm going to get that one. And it's really funny that actually the only reason I wrote the collection is because of Twitter. I had completely stopped writing poetry for at least a decade. And when I got on Twitter, I was like, well, I mean, what is it that I'm going to be able to put here on this thing, that's somehow unique or different, or, I could say, hey, that's me, that's my stamp or whatever. And I thought, I've got all these books of poems, and I could just kind of tweet out these poems, and people kind of enjoyed reading them, and the feedback that I got was really great. So I just started writing poetry again, and it wasn't until Twitter that was, again, part of my life. So I'm really grateful.
That's fantastic.
Well, it helps. I mean, it makes fans happy as well to see another side of you and get to read your book and have something physically in their hand if they don't buy it off of iTunes. Right.
I do get a lot of feedback, though, that, people are really concerned. They read something and they're like, oh, that's so depressing. And I'm not really sure if they can grasp the fact that, some of it's not really how I feel exactly. It's like a story or
at that moment even,
right,
because poetry can be made up of many different emotions,
Right, but some of the poetry I wrote 15 years ago, and I posted, oh, God, that's so sorry you're feeling that way. I'm not actually feeling that way. 15 years ago I felt that way.
Right.
But, any kind of reaction that you get from poetry, it's really nice to know that people are reading it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I have Miranda. She says, what's Seth's favorite quote of all time from anything?
From anything? All right. 9-year-olds, dude. That's my favorite quote of all time.
9-year-olds, dude?
Yep. From The Big Lebowski, my favorite movie of all time.
Okay. Awesome.
And that is one of the lines that always sticks out in my mind. 9-year-olds, dude. Taken out of context, it's probably not as hilarious as when John Goodman said it.
I love John Goodman, too.
Yes, he was really, really nice. He signed my copy of The Big Lebowski. I have
oh, really?
a lot of... Yeah, it's one of the things I do is if I work with someone really amazing and somebody who's had an effect on me, I'll bring whatever the DVD is that is my favorite one, and I'll ask them to sign it. So I didn't actually work on anything with him, but I was supposed to do some ADR, like looping. I don't know if you know what that is, but basically you go into a sound stage and like talk over yourself because the sound got messed up.
Okay.
So they said, well, John Goodman's going to be doing a session, and would you accommodate him and move your session to half an hour later? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I sat out there like a stalker with my copy of The Big Lebowski, and he was so cool. He was really nice, signed it for me, and we had a nice little chat. It was a really cool time, too.
He seems like he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with,
Yeah, no doubt. Guy that I'd love to go bowling with.
Yeah.
Well,
we have some callers on hold. Would you mind talking to a couple of your peoples?
Not at all, please.
Okay. Well, the first one up is going to be area code 740. You're live on the air. Say hello, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is Kelly, Juan's girl.
Oh, how's it going?
It's going good. I just wanted to say that I think you'd be awesome in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And
you live in Georgia?
No, I'm in Ohio.
Oh, God, it sounded like you might be from Georgia. I was going to wonder how big was your couch.
No, but you can stay here in Ohio on my couch. I have 2 couches.
You just lost
2
out,
couches.
Gina.
Okay.
Apparently.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, the show's really amazing. It's intense. I would love to do it. I mean, God, what an amazing experience that would be.
That's my show. I live for Sundays.
I do too.
Definitely.
The rare thing when the show gets DVR'd and I haven't already seen it by the time it's finished recording.
Exactly. Love it. And thank you so much for all the support that you have given towards my son, Mateo.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So does my family. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, it's actually my pleasure, to be honest with you. And you don't have to thank me. That's
awesome.
something
Thank
that
you,
I
Seth.
doing. My pleasure.
I think you
Absolutely.
made him
Thank
blush.
Oh. Me and my whole family, we adore Seth.
Yeah,
He's
I could
so
see why.
kind and so humble. We just adore him. And thank you for being who you are.
Now I am blushing.
Aww.
Thank you very much for those wonderful
poetry.
compliments. I appreciate it very much. I really do.
You're welcome.
Thanks
Take
for calling
care.
in, Kelly.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Kelly.
Okay, next up we have area code 214.
Yes. Hello?
Are you there? You're live
Yes,
on the air.
Hello. This is Lovely Reading from Dallas, Texas.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello. I just want to tell you, you are banging good. I have your
Oh, my
poetry
gosh.
Yes, it's banging
I
good,
to hear. I know exactly who you are. Thank you for sending the angels over to watch over my grandma. She's doing fantastic.
Oh, man. I love Grandma. I have adopted her. She's in my soul and heart, let me tell you.
I just
love both of you. And I love your book. I have read it and read it and read it. It is banging good. Seth, man,
so much.
I got your back, man. I do. This man is hot, man, ladies. Come on. He's banging. He's banging.
This is the kind of enthusiasm that I really got to tell you. You don't get it you just can't. Where do you find it?
I get it from you. I'm an old
I'm getting
soul.
it from you, girl. You're banging good.
Man, I get it from you.
You're banging good.
You are banging good. Your book is hot. Man, I want to buy another one. I framed your picture, and I'm going to frame my book. I got to have another book.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll write a second one for you.
Man, it has to have banging good in it. I love you.
I'm going to call it Banging and Collection. Banging and Collection, Banging.
There you go.
I'll find a way to get it in there.
Hey, he's my Twitter man. I try to get that Twitter in right before he goes to Twitter jail. I like to squeeze it in.
Yeah, that's the one trick about Twitter jail. It's like you can never really tell exactly how many tweets you're going to get.
I know,
out.
man, and you are banging good trying to get it in before Twitter jail locks you up.
I do the best I can, but after about 120-some tweets, they stick you in there, that's for sure.
They do. But I don't have to worry about Twitter jail. I only have like 3 followers.
You can tweet all your followers, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I've been in Twitter jail too many times. It's not fun.
Are you serious?
It lasts anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours.
They actually lock your butt up.
Yep.
Oh, man. Girl, you got some banging good energy.
He is so amazing energy, I'll tell you that.
You are.
And you know what? I need you to DM me about my uncle again. because we never saw